Cody in the morning. WSM. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Hey, good morning. We're sitting here in the living room just waiting on you. Pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee. Yeah. Hemisphere Coffee Roasters making it happen in the green room in there. Jamaican Me Crazy is the blend that we have recently had. John Christ approved. Jamaican Me Crazy Hemisphere Coffee. Yeah. Boy, he's done great things on ticket sales since he was with us the other day.
Yeah.
He was already on a roll.
He was.
Charlie was kind of keeping up with it and said that, man, by January, this cat's going to sell the Opry out. And it's just not an Opry show. It's a John Christ show.
It's a John Christ show.
Yeah. And his pastor has given him permission for, I think it's okay to miss church.
To prep for the show that day.
Yeah. As long as he tithes from the funds that come in
That's
on
right.
said show.
Yeah. What did he say?
Double.
He's like, we don't work on the Lord's Day, but he booked an Opry show that day anyway, or show at the Opry, I should say. Oh, John.
So, anyway, so Charlie Matos is here. Amber Anderson is in for Kelly Sutton, who is she's like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Remember that show?
Yes.
We don't know where she is.
One of
but
my
she's
favorite shows.
Either somewhere in Europe or on a plane going somewhere else in Europe.
Yeah.
That's what we've learned after doing the historic, the UK show on Friday at 1:30. That was such a weird thing. I loved it.
It was amazing.
Got to hear so much of it. And she co-hosted. And so we're very excited for her. Then left and went to Paris. And
I say she's gallivanting around Europe.
that's a good word.
That's gallivanting.
My mother was a gallivanter. That's a word she used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're just out gallivanting around Europe with your family. It's fine.
Yeah.
What'd you say earlier? We're here in Donaldson.
Yeah, we decided to stay in Donaldson and go to the Waffle
House.
Yeah. We
Sights to see.
We may make Bob Evans on Music Valley Drive today. Yeah, but you go ahead. Don't think a thing about us, girl. Yeah, no.
Don't worry about us, Cal.
Sacré-Cœur, famously in Paris. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Oh, what is that?
Sacré-Cœur, the cathedral. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
I don't-
Because she was going to the top of Sacré-Cœur to get a view of the whole city.
Okay.
And I said, well, we are just having so similar Saturday mornings. I'm on Briley Parkway going to get Jackson from Gigi. So it's like we're kindred spirits this morning. So
I have never even heard of
I know
whatever.
you both looked at me like I got no help for you on this one. You're on your own on this
Like
one.
the Eiffel Tower?
No, I've heard that one. Yeah.
So my similarity would be
Yes,
I was
Basilique de Sacré-Cœur de Montmartre in Paris. It is one of the massive basilicas.
Well done, Charlie.
That is very impressive.
Yeah, I was having breakfast with the boys, the gang, the Cross Plains gang, in Big Cheese Yates's pool house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so-
All right. Like swimming pool or like billiards?
Both.
Both.
Wow.
But yeah.
Usually the humidity of one makes the other one difficult. You got to pick your poison on that usually.
On occasion, games of chance.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Got to keep it local.
Got the dice going?
I was
Man
asleep.
needs to know where he can put down 20 on a game, you know? So.
I was asleep. I was on the couch watching football. Mm-hmm. So
Boy.
I was also not in Paris.
You're not a Kelly Sutton girl.
The funny thing is we are so similar.
Yeah.
We laugh all the time about how similar we actually are. But
On Party on the stage and made country music famous, that's the Grand Ole Opry. And this weekend, WSM's birthday is Sunday, and an all-day long Sunday live broadcast Opry show, Sunday Night Opry show, to celebrate 100 years of where it all started. That would lead to the Grand Ole Opry about 6 weeks later with old-time tunes, and then later in name the Barn Dance in 1927, transitioning from Grand Opera back to Nashville for the Grand Ole Opry. Let her go, boys. Thank you, solemn old judge.
love it.
So, Charlie Matos, speaking of history, there's a lot of it that people can explore if they'll just start, get off the beaten path, take the scenic route. Tell them more about TNTrailsandByways.com.
Well, you can sign up for your travel guide, too, which is cool. I have a collection of these now, because sometimes I like to save the old ones, because there's different ideas in each one. You know, I have a nice collection. But they're available at all Tennessee rest stops. But if you go to TNTrailsandByways.com, they'll send you one absolutely free. And look what they got here. Look at this. It's Bill Cody's favorite part. This is...
I can go to sleep at
This
night
This is Ways Before Ways.
Reading a roadmap.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
It doesn't do much. I can't anymore. I don't really think I ever could. But
and folding is yet another art form, so
Yeah.
it'll fit in the glove box. That was the deal as a kid.
But seriously, whether you're coming for a week or you're a Tennessean just looking for something out of the box to do on a Saturday, tntrailsandbyways.com.
And trust me, we will be out of the box on Sunday on the Opry Plaza celebrating 100 years of WSM Radio.
And Community Day. So
Yeah,
if you're a
that's
Tennessee
true.
resident, come tour the Opry for free. Just show your valid ID.
Thanks for pointing that out. So you can't find it in a brochure or experience it following an influencer. You can only find it when you let the open road be your guide. Get off the beaten path and take the scenic route. It starts at tntrailsandbyways.com. Amber Anderson is in for Kelly Sutton. And
Hello.
she is jet-setting around the world.
Gallivanting is like
Where
you
in
like
the
to
world
say.
is Carmen Sandiego?
Yes, she'll be back this week, which we're excited to get her back. I miss her.
As far as
lots
we know.
and lots.
As far as we
No, she may choose to stay.
Very jet lagged.
Very jet lagged. Very jet lagged. Well,
She
we
may
have
have
to.
multiple citizenships by the time she gets back.
Would you be surprised?
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. Not a bit. Not one bit. Well, we are sending our best healing vibes to Dolly Parton. She announced yesterday that she is postponing her upcoming Las Vegas residency due to health concerns. She shared the update on Instagram and basically just saying she wanted the fans and the public to hear directly from her that she would need to postpone these shows. And, you know, we have been hearing that she'd been dealing with some health challenges throughout the last few months. And my favorite part of her statement was that she said, as I joked with them, it must be time for my 100,000 mile checkup. Although it's not the usual trip to see my plastic surgeon.
Oh.
She's the best. She's the best.
Got that sense of humor.
That's right. Get well, Dolly. She is going to be postponing these shows until September of 2026.
Kelly told me my all-time favorite Dolly line, where someone asked, how long does it take to get your hair done? She goes, I don't know. I'm never in the room when they do it.
That's right.
Which is such a great self-deprecating line.
That's so Dolly.
Yeah.
It's so Dolly. And I'm sending my condolences to Charlie today because we have a Super Bowl halftime performer, and it is not Taylor Swift.
I know.
It is Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny has been announced as the halftime show headliner, and I'm stoked for this.
This is
It's a
La Canción.
vibe. Such a vibe. But
That's a
honestly,
cover
like,
of a Osmond Brothers tune, isn't it?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
yes. But Bad Bunny is coming off of, you know, he's done a residency in Puerto Rico. He is a 3-time Grammy winner. He is going to bring the vibes. It's going to be a party. It's going to be visually beautiful. I know this for a fact. I'm excited to see this. I am so ready.
And it's in Santa Clara. That's a great
Yes.
stadium, the Levi Stadium.
Yes,
Yeah.
49ers country. And we have to send a big congratulations to Opry Next Stage artist Chase Beckham, who is now a married man. Congratulations to him and his new bride, Ashley. We're so proud. So happy.
Well, what goes on in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, they got married in Vegas?
They got married in Vegas. Announced it with a video.
All right.
Driving down the strip.
We need a psychological study, or at least like results of how many marriages in Vegas are successful and how many proposals on a Jumbotron end up being
The Jumbotron
long.
one. I'm
Yeah.
really curious about that.
And how many have their reception at Blake Shelton's Old Red at the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo?
Everyone should.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
Welcome to the Assembly Food Hall stage. Cold Quest and the City Pickers, or at least a portion of them. That's Christian Puzo with you. And so excited to have you in Mr. Acuff's living room, our new studio home, particularly with your heritage as Woody Guthrie's grandson.
Yeah, very excited to be here, bright and early.
And fresh off a live performance at Dee's Country Cocktail Lounge in beautiful downtown Madison until the last car goes by at night.
Yeah, it's great. It was super cool. You know, we've never been to Dee's before, but a lot of our friends are passed through, and we've seen some of the great acts, you know, play in that spot, and it just looked like a really awesome time.
Yeah, and your first time to bring the full band down? Is
First first time.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were kind of, oh, that's the Opry. Oh, where it's over there. A little bit kind of trying to get our grounds. We've been coming in and we're going out pretty quickly. Unfortunately, we don't have more time to stay here. So it's a little bit of just take it in while you got it kind of thing.
Yeah, because you're leaving here, you go to Lexington.
We're going to Lexington. Yeah. Just as soon as we are done here, we'll be moving on. Yeah.
That's a reasonably short road trip.
It's reasonably short.
Yeah,
we did 9 hours the day before, so 3.5 hours seems pretty doable at this point. Yeah.
So how long, Cole, have you had a band and been in music before the City Pickers came along?
Yeah, I've been playing music my whole life. My father got me a guitar when I was 10 years old, so I've been playing music my whole life. But probably about, I would say almost 12, 13 years ago, I met this guy in a bar in an Irish pub in Astoria, Queens. We joined a bluegrass session that was happening. We kind of didn't, we were falling into it. We didn't know too much about
The
it.
bluegrass capital of the world.
Yeah, of
Queens,
course,
New York.
of course. At the Irish pub. Where else? So we kind of just fell into it, and a bunch of the other guys in the band, we all met at a session there, and so we started playing together and found a companionship through music, and so we kind of just kept diving farther and farther into it, and that's been about 13 years at this point.
And your family wound up in New York, as I read this backstory on your grandfather, that he said he arrived in New York in the middle of a blizzard after hitchhiking from Los Angeles and remained there until he died in 1967 from Huntington's disease. He was only 55.
Yeah, yep. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, right when he came in was February of that year, and the 40s, and he wrote "This Land Is Your Land" pretty much when he touched ground, within the first week. So he had literally, the way my mother always explains it is, he was literally going from California to the New York island. It was more of a diary entry of what he was seeing more so than anything else. And so he just got in and he was crashing on Will Geer's couch, and he wrote a whole bunch of songs that I think within a month, he wrote a song called "Women's Hats," and he was just writing about everything he was seeing. It was just a literal kind of interpretation of what he was experiencing.
And if you don't know who Will Geary is, Grandpa Walton was probably his most famous character.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, now I have the visual. Well, he was an inspiration to so many, and I'm a huge Dylan fan, so obviously that's one that kind of stands out. Obviously, have you seen A Complete Unknown? And if so, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Dylan has done so much for Woody and keeping Woody in the present that's a big part of it. Is like, all the young kids who are like, Timothy Chalamet, let's go see the new movie. And then all of a sudden they're learning about Woody Guthrie through that. And I think the movie did a really good job of connecting the pieces between the two of them. I think Dylan finds Woody an incredibly large inspiration and connection. They even have the Woody Guthrie Center down in Tulsa now has the Dylan Center directly connected to it. So I think that's part of the story.
They did a great job, at least I think they did a great job. I wasn't alive, but I think they did a great job recreating that whole Greenwich Village feel of what those clubs felt like, and honestly how tiny they were. I mean, if you were there, it was intimate.
Sure, yeah. And I mean, I think a bunch of those places are still sort of there, whether they're the same name or not, but there's still the small clubs of the village. And like, we played not too long ago, last year we played Cafe Wah, and like there's still those old spots, and the Bitter End where Arlo performed. So there's still a lot of that history is still there for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you, how do you balance kind of honoring your family's legacy while carving out your own individual lane? I feel like that would be a really hard balance to keep. Yeah. And
I don't know that I actually strive for a balance. I think I'm just trying to do my thing. And one of the things we kind of say is, I'm not Woody Guthrie. I didn't live through the Dust Bowl. I don't write the same songs, and I didn't have the same experiences. That doesn't mean we don't love, honor, appreciate. And so that's part of it, is trying to bring Woody into the material, just as any songwriter who appreciates any other songwriter that they look up to. So I think that's a big part of it, is we just try to bring Woody into it, but also try to be proud and just do our own thing, understand that we come from different experiences and do the thing that we know how to do. So it's about, I'm not necessarily trying to strike a balance. I'm just trying to do all the things that feel authentic, real and feel like myself,
Now, so would it have been your mom who had the unfinished songs that Del McCoury finished and released that album?
Yes, Del and Woody.
Recently, yeah.
Yeah, a few years ago, a lot of artists have come in and, Mom, we got all the lyrics that Woody wrote. They were sitting in a box in our closet for half of my life.
Wow.
And then mom started an archives, and that archives now lives in Tulsa at the Woody Guthrie Center. But for a while, it was just sitting there. Anyways, Mom is very familiar with all the lyrics, and so she's invited artists over the years to come in and try to get Woody out there. And I think Del was definitely one of those people who just like, he sang on his album is Women's Hats. And like, there's no better person to have Del than Del sing that Women's Hats. It's just like, it really does fit perfectly.
Cole Quest and the City Pickers are here. Christian Apuzzo is joining him this morning. They played Dee's Country Cocktail Lounge last night, off to Lexington for the Wood Songs Old Time Radio Hour. That's where they leave from here, leave for from here. And then Pete Seeger said, this is interesting because I know he's got a little spoken word piece that you found, and I'm interested to get the backstory on that. But Pete Seeger said, if I don't find a way to do This Land Is Your Land somewhere in my set, I'm not doing my job.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I mean...
But he does a spoken word piece on your album intro.
Yeah. I mean, so part of the album, I guess the concept, if you will, is like to talk about the roots of where we come from. The album is called Homegrown for that reason. Yeah. And for me, Pete had such a huge impact on me and the rest of the guys in the music, all the music that we've listened to for our whole lives. So such a predominant impact, and so I wanted to put Pete in there in some way, shape, or form. And so that opening quote is actually a Woody quote that Pete is reading, and I went through some family archives to try to find that, and it just felt like the right thing to start the album with. It's called There's a Feeling in Music, and it brings you back down the road that you've already traveled. And it just kind of felt like we're doing these Woody songs, we're doing these songs from the generations before us, trying to keep those things in the present, the important messages that we think are relevant. And so we were trying to bring that in, and Pete was a big part of that.
And everybody's a New Yorker, right?
Everybody's in New York. Technically, we have one New Jersey, but
well, they also have the Jets and Giants, so we can't have a...
That's true.
Christian, Long Island originally for you?
Yeah, I was born and raised on Long Island, and I guess I'm a New Yorker at heart, and went to college in upstate New York, and immediately after graduating, moved to the city. Yeah.
Well, I'm a huge jazz fan, and one of my favorites is Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you got a band called the Grass Messengers, and I got to think it's got to be an homage to Art Blakey, right?
100%. Yeah, the banjo player Ellery Marshall in that band was a jazz drummer, and I guess we were spreading the good word of bluegrass.
There you go.
Yeah.
Read this great quote from Woody's website, woodyguthrie.org. A folk song is what's wrong and how to fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great quote.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
They just scrolled across the page, and it's just marvelous. So I recommend.
My sister and my mother and even my brother-in-law actually built the website, and that is the website that we maintain. And so, that's the right place to go for Woody Guthrie lyrics and information. That's like as close to the source of truth as you can find besides going to the center itself.
And we follow you where? Where do you prefer to interact on the web?
We have our own website, colequest.com, social media at City Pickers, all that good stuff. We try to make sure people can access us for sure.
So Homegrown, was Amber the inspiration for this? She talks a lot, and I like it.
I do talk a lot. This is true. Real quick, I want to ask you guys. You said you ran into each other at a bar, and you just like when we jumped into a session the next day. Is that typical? It's almost like musician dating.
It is a little bit like musician dating. I've never thought of it that way.
It's just like to those of us who don't make music, you meet somebody and it's like, oh, we should get together for coffee or like whatever. But it's like, you want to join in this session tomorrow? And then what if you show up and it's like not great?
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens too, and just like dating, you just learn how to navigate those situations. But sometimes you meet the love of your life.
Yeah, exactly. I love that story.
She talks a lot, parenthetically, and I like it. Original song?
Yeah, that's an original song. I mean, Honestly, I was inspired by listening to some bluegrass gospel and bluegrass hymnal music, and those 3-part harmonies just sounded beautiful. And so I was trying to write something down that vein, and that one kind of just popped up out of nowhere. And yeah, I don't have much of a backstory behind it besides, it just is sometimes writing, it just kind of flows right out of you.
Yeah, well, you're hooked with the title. As soon as you see us, I got to hear this. So let's do that all over the world on WSM Radio, Circle Country Television, Cold Quest and the City Pickers, and a live performance, maybe a couple coming up in the next break.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And Cold Quest and the City Pickers, or at least a portion of the band here this morning in Christian Apuzo.
The picker. The city picker.
It's picker.
We have one. We have a picker.
Singular this morning on the Assembly Food Hall stage as they visit with us in the release of Homegrown, their new album, and then leave here for Lexington and the Woodsong's Old Time Radio Hour. But I'm going to let you jump right into some music. We may be able to get a couple in that way.
Sure, yeah. All right, we'll start with an original song, I Ain't. This is kind of the start to side B of the vinyl for those vinyl listeners. All right, ready?
Yep.
Cold Quest and the City Pickers. Amber Anderson, when your wedding day comes one day, please hire Cole and the City Pickers to sing that at your wedding.
After that first line, I looked at Bill and I'm like, this is awesome.
It's all about eating healthy nowadays. You got to eat the beans.
So you don't have to buy a bigger coat.
You don't want to buy a bigger coat.
It's amazing.
Save money, you eat healthy, I think
don't
it's
drink
the way
poison,
to go.
none of that. Oh, so good.
So where'd you record the new, I know historically the Magic Shops, a
Right.
very famous studio where you did your first album.
Right.
Have you continued to record there?
No, the studio unfortunately did close, and that was kind of a heartbreaking moment. It was one of the reasons we went in there was the owner, Steve Rosenthal, who is also the producer of all of our records, including this most recent one. He had to unfortunately close the studio. New York City, the rents are pretty crazy. So no longer available for recording, but we were able to record in Stamford, Connecticut at a place called the Carriage House, which coincidentally my father and my Italian side of my family all grew up and was raised in Stamford, Connecticut. So the guy who owned Johnny's a friend of the cousin. He's just, one of the family effectively. So.
Charlie's a Portuguese Cumberland, Rhode Island guy.
This is true. Yeah. All Portuguese all the time. I don't need to do ancestry.com. That's all we got is Portuguese. A lot of Portuguese. You mentioned Stamford, Connecticut. The first thing that pops into my mind is WWE World, too. I think that's the home of the Vince McMahon and the folks.
That's true, yeah.
But you mentioned Steve, 7-time Grammy nominee, 4-time Grammy winner, and one of his Grammys is for an archive project with Woody.
That's
so what a
true.
great full circle.
Yeah, exactly. Steve is a super, super close friend. Frankly, the band wouldn't really exist without him. We kind of were me and Christian were playing in a bar band at the time. We were just trying to get our chops up and really falling into the music and getting our feet wet. And he came in and he saw us, and he's been friends with my mother for years. They've worked on many, many projects. He's done a lot of restoration work. So I've known him my whole life. And then he came in, he heard us singing together and playing at a bar, and he's like, you guys got to get in that studio now. And so that was kind of how the project started. Is I brought some of my original material. We brought the bar band. We brought a few other friends in, and we kind of coordinated it all. We made a record, and then at the end, he goes, well, now you got to go out and play it. And I was like, oh, okay.
So that's how this rolls.
We've been doing it ever since.
Yeah. There's a song that you do called Dust Bowl Children.
Oh, yeah.
Was that an original?
That's a Peter Rowan song, actually. And we've kind of made it our own, a little bit of arrangement. But, yeah, that's a Peter Rowan song.
It's the overview says of your performance, dusty as a prairie grocery store with sawdust on the floor and ceiling fans spinning just above the patrons while kids try to dunk for a big pickle in the wooden barrel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's interesting to hear that because that was part of the reason we selected the song. That's one of the reasons I learned the song is to try to learn about the times before. I didn't live through the Great Depression. I didn't live through the Dust Bowl. So for me, it's about learning through song. It's that connection, and that's what helps grow. And I am the grandson of Woody Guthrie. I am literally the children of the people who have gone through the Dust Bowl. And so...
Well, there's a great line from Willis Allen Ramsey called Boy from Oklahoma about your grandfather, where he said, born in Okemah Shoes, which is a little hometown in Oklahoma, with the Dust Bowl blues, he was a friend of the working man. And I always love that line.
That's really
Are you familiar
good.
with that song?
I'm not familiar with that one, but maybe we could write it down because I really like that. I'd like to parse it and listen to it a little bit more. And we've been to Okemah a few times. They have Woody Fest there, a festival, and so we've been there a few times. And I've taken the band. We've all gone and looked at the old house, where it's not a house anymore. It's more of a pile of bricks in the behind a bush, but there's the remnants of the house that Woody grew up in.
Is busking a thing much in New York? Because for as many times as I've been to the city, I have not run into many people playing on the street. And you hear it in Nashville, and New Orleans is maybe my all-time favorite city, and you hear it everywhere in New Orleans. But did you guys do any of that? Is it a thing?
I think of quite some, 8 years ago or so, there was a lot of more working musicians in the city where you could find maybe in Central Park, Manhattan.
Somebody just playing
like
all
a bluegrass
day?
band. I'm sure there are still busking in those high foot traffic spots. But
so pre-COVID, or is that the kind of the delineation?
For me at least, doing it was a lot during that time, and then not so much anymore. But
hey, squeeze in one more for us before we wrap up.
All
Would
right.
you do that live performance from Cold Quest and the City Pickers this morning? Accompanying him in studio, Christian Apuzzo. Rest of the band, run that lineup quickly.
Yeah, we got Mateus Verardino. He's our harmonica player, and he also does Appalachian clogging and flat footing, which is on the record and in our live show.
It's kind of a John Hartford thing.
It's kind of like a John Hartford thing.
That's really cool.
We're an untraditional bluegrass band in that way. We have the 5-piece and we don't have a mandolin or a fiddle, but we do have a dobro and a harmonica. So he, as a harmonica player, is trying to be the fiddle. So it is like the Hartford thing. Fiddle and dance is harmonica and dance. So we got Mateus. We also have our banjo player. We call him Banjo Mike. His name is Banjo Mike Mulholland. And he's from New Jersey. And then we got our bass player, Kels Nolenberger, on the road with us for this tour.
Leaving here just a little bit for Lexington, the Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour. Close us out. Thank you for coming to see us. Great to make your acquaintance, man.
For sure. Nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet
Thank you so much.
And it is said of the new album Homegrown, which came out in July, so it's available wherever you get your music. I love this line, and one of the reviews says, "Every listener feels at home." Cold Quest in the City.
I like
love
that.
that.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
We hope we've made you feel at home.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much.
And on your drive to Lexington, you're going to think you're having some weird kind of flashback, but at some point when in the middle of nowhere, this massive castle will pop up. It's supposed to be there.
That's
Okay.
That's the highlight of your trip from
What's
Nashville to
what
Lexington.
is in the castle?
Kentucky
It's in
Castle.
Versailles,
Uh-huh.
and this guy
Versailles.
Sorry, sorry, John Conley. Versailles. Yes. I think the story is a gentleman built it for his future bride, and there never was a future bride, and
never
it sat
happened.
empty for many years, and now it's like a
Wedding
Airbnb.
venue.
I think you can stay there too.
Yeah, it's
So,
incredible.
like an Airbnb.
Well, that will probably fit our budget, probably. I think.
So that's
by.
cool. Yeah.
It's just before you get to the airport, Bluegrass
Okay.
Airport. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
And we refer to it as the great John Conley of the Grand Ole Opry family as his boyhood home.
That's right.
Because he grew up in
cool.
Versailles.
Oh, my God.
Cold Quest, Christian Apuzzo, the City Pickers on WSM's Coffee, Country, and Cody.